So moving on in the Central Division, one of the Central Division's most relevant players played today. Giannis Antetokounmpo played for Greece. I believe they were in Poland. I think they were in Poland.
I don't think they were in Poland because they were playing at the same time as Slovenia, who
okay.
Was in Poland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, they were somewhere.
Hey, Giannis said, "Hey, bro, you said this FIBA stuff's tough on me." The man was at 31 on 20 shots.
Yeah, 31 today, 7 rebounds. Yeah, well, let's not overreact there. They beat Italy by 9, I believe. So Giannis.
Correct.
Nicola Melli, a man who's represented my underwear drawer, still playing for Italy. You have to have attended the live pod to get that one. That was in the Q&A.
Oh God.
Yeah, Giannis 14 of 20 from the floor, 14 of 20 from 2-point range, no 3-pointers, 7 rebounds, 2 assists.
They were in Cyprus, which could you find Cyprus on a map?
Yeah, of course I could. I'm a man of the world.
You're a man of the world, I'll tell you.
5 turnovers, 1 steal. Yeah, so very good start for Giannis. And here we are about to be September, and Giannis is very much planted on the Bucks. So I still think it's something that people are going to be keeping a close eye on.
As they have been for 7 years.
Yes, but
That's right.
especially now.
Yeah.
But, the Bucks obviously make the big move by cutting Dame Lillard and bringing in Miles Turner. They are... they're a team that I think their goal should probably be, can we get a top 4 seed and make sure that Giannis and our core players are healthy in April? Do what you can to make sure those players are healthy. They've had horrible injury luck for 3 consecutive years in the postseason, and that's the best thing that they can hope for. The Turner,
I would say they should just hope to be top 6. I mean, I think they're projected to finish 8th or 9th by the odds in the East. So, I mean, if they're
agree
top
with that?
6,
I mean, assuming you get a reasonably healthy, let's say
their roster's not very good.
Well,
I mean, it's a massive. They're putting a massive burden on Giannis to be the sole engine of their team for 82 games. And any game Giannis doesn't play, they've got a bottom 5, 6 roster.
Right, and he's not playing 82 games.
Right.
He's played 70 games one time. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, one time in the last 6 years, he's played. 70.
That's my concern.
Here are Giannis's games since 2019-20. 63, 61, 67, 63, 73, 67.
Yeah, so you're talking about missing 15 games a year.
And in none of those seasons did he average more than 35 minutes per game. 23-24 is when he played the 73 games, he averaged 35.2. That's the most. So you're telling me he's going to need to play likely more minutes
and harder minutes.
Being these, the not just primary facilitator, but pretty damn close to like the sole facilitator. Look, Giannis might have an MVP season again next year. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. But man, as he's over 30 now, and how many, are they going to try to play this guy 36, 38?
No, because they have to protect April. But I will say this, part of when you're forecasting...
We also have to get to April. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They have to... Well, but look, if you're projecting the Bucks, part of the Bucks projection is you're trying to figure out how good the Pacers and the Celtics are going to be.
Well, I don't think it's that. I mean, let's just do the teams quick, right? They're going to be... They're behind Cleveland. They're behind New York. They're behind Orlando. They're behind Atlanta. I would say they're behind Miami. After they added Norm Powell, I think Miami's going to be better than them this year. You want to say maybe? Maybe's fine. I'm fine with maybe.
Now we're in the maybe zone.
Yeah,
I would say
Detroit.
I would say Detroit should be probably projected to finish ahead of them. They're a lot deeper. I don't know if they will for sure, but I'd say it's a maybe leaning towards yes.
Yeah.
We'll see about Boston. Mm-hmm. We'll see about Indy. The one team I will say that's been very discounted in our forecast stuff, which is look ahead to something we're going to talk about in a couple of days probably, is Toronto's not losing 50 games this year. Like, they're going to be trying to win games. They have at least a representative roster. They added Brandon Ingram didn't even play for him last year. They've got him and Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly. Like, they're going to be in the mix for a spot in there. Like, I'm not saying they're finishing ahead of the Bucks, but I think the Bucks are going to be like, they're going to need Giannis healthy to stay ahead of a lot of these teams.
You're higher on Toronto than I am.
I just don't think Toronto's going to be 32-50. I think they could be 41-41, and the Bucks.
The Bucks have had a 600
41.
winning percentage. Basically, I'm rounding up on last year. It was 550, 590. The Bucks have had a 600 winning percentage for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive years.
Right, and the Bucks turned Brook Lopez and Dame Lillard into Miles Turner.
I understand, but I'm just pointing that out. I agree that this is a weaker team, but Giannis is that kind of a driver.
He is, but who other than Giannis on this roster can do any kind of damage off the dribble?
Kevin Porter Jr. and Kyle Kuzma are your two answers.
I mean, I was going to say, are you going to tell me Cole Anthony?
Again, this is like, look, if Giannis, to your point, McMahon, if Giannis can play 75 plus games, which he obviously has not done in a long time, he's got a chance to win MVP because he's going to put up astronomical numbers. And if he does that, they could finish third or fourth. They could win a lot of games, and he will get a lot of credit for that, sort of like the Russell Westbrook MVP season. It's not exactly the same, but I'd say it's got some parallels to it. But again, that's assuming he can hold up under that load of playing time and player usage, because he had an insane usage down the stretch of the season. In any game he misses,
playing point guard.
Well, right, but he's like, any game he misses, they're going to be pretty heavy favorites to lose.
Well, and the other thing is, Giannis obviously has been a defensive player of the year. He has the ability to be a massively impactful defender. But how much is he going to have to give you on the defensive end if you need him to go for 32, 12, and 8 and have the ball in his hands for 37 minutes a night?
Yeah, it's like, to me, if they can finish in the top 6, I think that's a very successful year for the Bucks. And if they can, to your point, if they can, sort of like we were just talking about with Cleveland, if they can be in the top 6 and have Giannis healthy at the start of the playoffs, then yeah, they'll take their chances going up against anybody and hope Giannis can do Giannis things in the playoffs. Like, that's a bet worth making.
Although Giannis did
Giannis things,
Giannis did Giannis things against the Pacers last year, and it wasn't a competitive series. He was ridiculous.
You could also argue there's not a team like the Pacers last year in this year's East. So,
all right. Well, speaking about the Pacers, they're in the Central Division, and dealing with the loss of 2 starters that they're not going to get back, which Miles Turner goes to the Bucks, which didn't, much to the chagrin of the Bucks, who think that Miles Turner is a game changer. Bontemps didn't change your feeling on them at all. But I didn't hear you. I don't think I even heard you. Do you think you?
I mean, adding Miles Turner is good. It's just like they had Brook Lopez and they had Dame Lillard last year, and the two of them became Miles Turner. Like, that's a downgrade, and the rest of the roster was already rough.
Miles Turner is an upgrade from Brook Lopez at this point in Lopez's career, but he's not like just some drastic math, just like, oh my God.
Dame was really good last year. Like, he averaged 25 and 7. Like, that guy's just gone from their team. It's going to be fascinating to see how it goes. Very curious.
All right. Well, the Pacers are not getting Turner back. He's gone. And obviously Tyrese Halliburton is out for the season.
Yeah.
They have some guys who I do think can shoulder a bigger load. I'm certainly not saying anybody's replacing Halliburton, but Andrew Nembhard is going to have a bigger role, and in the past he's had a bigger role in the playoffs and has shouldered it well. You could see TJ McConnell having a bigger role. Finals darling TJ McConnell. I don't think they're going to all of a sudden start playing him massive minutes, because I think they need to control his minutes for various reasons. But TJ McConnell will have a bigger role. It's possible Johnny Furphy, who was a bit of a standout in the summer, their first round draft pick, or was he second round draft pick? Early second round pick or late
Early
first?
second round guy. It was a potential. He's a projected to go in the first round. Really highly rated analytics guy who fell into the second round and got scooped up by the Pacers.
Johnny Furphy, had a interesting summer league. He could, but and then a big name would be Benedict Mathurin. Now Mathurin is interesting for two reasons. One, Mathurin is extension eligible, and the Pacers, it's unclear how much more they're going to invest in this roster. They certainly drew a line in the sand on Miles Turner, and that sent a message. Of course, because they didn't spend money on re-signing Miles Turner, in theory, they could have money to extend Benedict Mathurin. But also, they're going to, Rick Carlisle's come out and said Benedict Mathurin will be in the starting lineup, and so he will get this big boost. And so if he has a big step forward year, he may even want to wait to sign because he may have a breakout year. He's been a player who's been a little bit erratic. Where we saw it in the finals last year. He had was it game 4, game 5? He had the big game.
What we saw was Rick Carlisle didn't fully trust him because he had the big game. I'm looking it up real quick. It was
in Indy. I think it was game 4.
Yeah, he had the huge game in game 3 when they won.
Game 3.
When he scored, he was 9 of 12 from the floor and scored. My damn thing ain't scrolling over. I think it was like 27 and 23 minutes. Damn basketball. Yeah, 27 and 23 minutes. And only played 14 minutes in the next game. So, listen. Actions over words. Rick can say he trusts him all he wants, but the guy just had a huge game, was a massive factor in a finals win that gave them the series lead and regained home court advantage at that point. And then in the very next game, didn't play a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean he's a fascinating case because he's a ball dominant 2 that's a pretty inconsistent and I would say overall below average 3-point shooter. He's a career 34% shooter and is a streaky guy. Like you said, he can have games where he goes crazy like he did in game 3, and he can have a lot of games where he doesn't. And he's at times been an awkward fit playing with Tyrese Halliburton, who obviously, even though he's hurt going forward, is the guy they're going to be building the roster around. And we've seen over the last years in the playoffs, Andrew Nembhard has been a great fit next to Tyrese Halliburton and seems to make a lot of sense as the long-term answer at the 2. And they've got Aaron Nesmith at the 3. So it is going to be very interesting to see how this Nembhard-Mathurin backcourt this year looks and what direction that causes the Pacers to go in going forward. Like, Benedict Mathurin has a great year. Is he a way for the Pacers to get a replacement for Miles Turner long-term in some sort of deal? I don't have a deal in mind, but like, is he, some team want him? Does that turn into a big, allow them to reorient their roster and then go forward with something like the group they had this past season? I don't know. Maybe he plays great and they find a way to make it work long term. But both of those guys in particular, like, I'm fascinated to see what Nembhard can do in a bigger role. Like, could he have 18 and 9 this year as a starter? Like, I don't know. Maybe. Like, he's really good. And Mathurin last year in 49 starts, almost 30 minutes a game, he averaged 16 points. If you told me he averaged 20 points a game this year and was their second leading scorer behind Pascal, but sure, I could see that. Like, I could see him having a good year.
The thing about Mathurin, he has started quite a few games in his career, about maybe 40% of the time.
Almost exactly 40%, 85 of 209.
He actually is a more efficient scorer coming off the bench than he is as a starter. I think because when he's in the second unit, they feature him a little bit more.
Well, and he gets to play against second unit defenders as well.
For sure. So that's going to be a role change for him, but it doesn't have to.
Mathurin physically, like, dude, he is 6'6" with enough, like, perfect NBA wing physique, phenomenally explosive, completely fearless, has some real
can guard some
to him. Yeah, like, there is a lot.
He's an interesting player.
There's a lot to like about him.
But he is kind of a ball stopper, and he doesn't feel like a great fit long term with the Tyrese Halliburton Pacers. So,
yeah, the fearless doesn't know. Sometimes there should be an appropriate amount of, if not fear, like recognition of the flow of the offense, maybe.
Yeah, that backcourt, that back